spot, bringing stats like a kingpin. MMA knowledge meets his nephews all lean in. Breaking down fights, calling stat daddy supreme. On just a tip show, he's cooking up a dream. Uncle Weezy, he the man. Dropping fight facts, got it all on hand. He the stat attack grand. MMA guru, more than just a fan. Wanna know the numbers? Weezy got them cataloged. From the fighters reach down to how many times they dog. Just a tip living, breaking it down slick. Hit you with the knowledge, won't miss a single trick. Uncle Weezy, he the man. Dropping fight facts, got it all on hand. He the stat attack grand. MMA guru, more than just a fan. Balls deep predictions, he be making those calls. Getting in the details, opponents feeling small. From jazz to takedowns, got the whole fight ID. Uncle Weezy spitting truth, no lie, keep it G. Blow the horn, blow the horn. Stat daddy Weezy not showing no scorn. Fight night kingdom, he wearing the crown. Break it down for the peeps, never looking like a clown.
Oh, yes. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night. On Saturday, we have UFC 323 headlined by Dvalishvili and Peter Yan going down in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be a great card with 14 fights on it. And what we're going to do here today on this show is I'm going to give you guys a quick full card breakdown. I'm going to give you my favorite underdog pick of the week. I'm going to give you my favorite fight to finish of the week, which is called Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. And then I am going to put together a greasy 4-leg parlay that's got some meat on the bone that we can have some fun watching these fights, stacking cashed tickets like flapjacks. I'm your host, Uncle Weezy, and I'm going to take you through these fights here today. Welcome to everybody here that's watching live. Welcome to everybody that's watching on the replay later on. I'm here to help you make some money watching these fights on Saturday, and it is a really good card. A pay-per-view card, the last one that we're going to have for a very long time, as in 2026, the UFC is switching over to Paramount Plus, and there will be no pay-per-views. Everything is just going to be on Paramount Plus. So we're going to have to savor the last pay-per-view for I don't know how long. I don't know how long this particular contract is, or if they're going to continue with this model going forward after they see how it works. But I'm excited about it. I think that it's going to spread out the talent a little bit more. You know, there won't be as much of a incentive to just throw together shit cards at the fucking Apex. You know, if there's not really a certain amount of cards that they have to do every year, I think that this could be a good thing, but we're not going to really find out until it gets started in 2026. But this is the last pay-per-view card of 2025. Welcome to everyone watching. I'm going to share my screen with you guys here, and I'm going to take you through my picks for these fights. So let's talk about it here. And if you want to support my work, there is a link in the description of the video. It's the link to my OddsShopper probability stats and content package. I've already done about 4 hours worth of content for my subscribers on OddsShopper this week. I did a full card breakdown show called Balls Deep Breakdowns with Uncle Weezy that I do every Wednesday night. And I do a Plus EV prop betting show where we go through all my betting models for all of the fights. And we talk about the best over-under bets on the card in terms of data value. We find out where they match up with our stylistic reads for knockout props, submission props, decision props, inside the distance, unanimous, split decision. All of these stats that you see here, all of these betting models populated with the betting lines are available for $25 a month. I've got 10 spots available for a 50% off your first month's membership at $12.50. Link is in the description of the video. If you want to support my work, that's the best way to do it. But if you can't do that, hit the thumbs up if you like the content, hit the subscribe button, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking about this week's picks. Let me know who you like, what your favorite parlay of the week. Always good to talk with you guys in the comments. So let's get started, though. Let's talk about a full card breakdown here, and I'll give you my picks for all of these fights this week. First one that we're going to talk about, Muhammad Naimov at plus 210, going up against Myron Santos at minus 250. Now, Santos is the younger fighter. Naimov is the more experienced fighter at the UFC level. He's got a UFC strength, the schedule advantage. I think Santos is the better striker in this matchup. And I think Naimov's the better wrestler and the guy that's more likely to win minutes in the grappling exchanges of this fight. I think this one's going to play out close. You know, I haven't been particularly impressed with Myron Santos's all-around MMA skill set. His striking looks pretty slick. But outside of that, I'm not seeing a whole lot of plan B if the striking isn't going well. And I don't know exactly what his ceiling is yet. He's still very young. He's still improving, and he's already got 17 pro fights for somebody that's very young in their mid-20s. So I think Santos has definitely got some upside, but I'm still kind of waiting to see if there's any plan B if the striking isn't quite working or if it's not going the way that he thought it would. You know, Naimov's a southpaw. He's got a Taekwondo background. He's got some really good kicks. So I think that this is going to be fairly close on the feet. But I think if Naimov can find a moment here or there and get a couple of takedowns, I think he can win this fight in a very close decision. So I like the Naimov money line at plus 210. I think that this fight's going to play out very close to 50-50. So Naimov's money line was a pretty easy click for me. His decision prop at almost plus 500 was a pretty easy click for me this week. Next fight is, Mansur Abdul-Malik. And this is not even minus 1,200 anymore. I believe on Bet Online, Mansur Abdul-Malik. Oh, it's minus 1,300. So it's not that much different. But, Antonio Trocoli, professional poker player, is going to be taking a shot at doing some MMA on Saturday. And frankly, I don't think it's going to go well for him. I think he's going to leave in a neck brace. I think Abdul Malik's going to run this dude into a dick saw and knock him out in round number 1. He's kind of been taking his time recently. You know, he didn't really fight much for the first 2 rounds of the Brundage fight. He kind of took his time in the Nick Klein fight. Almost got knocked out in the first round of that one with a spinning back fist that landed, but showed some good recoverability there. That's good to see. And Mansur is still very young, and he's still got, you know, a lot of growing up to do in terms of putting his MMA skill set together. And when they're giving him squash mash opponents like this, you know, I think it would be a much better idea for him to come out fighting in round 1 instead of waiting until round 3. You know, when they give you this kind of opponent, just take advantage of it. Go out there and put up a highlight reel, put a meme on this clown, because he's going to get his ass shaved in there. So, yeah, Mansur Abdul-Malik minus 1,200. There's not much we can do from a gambling angle here. But I think, you know, Abdul Malik runs him into a dick saw and makes it look pretty easy in round number 1. Next one that we got is an interesting fight. It's between a debuting fighter here and Iwo Baraneski. He's going to be going up against Ibo Aslan. I've got Baraneski winning this fight, but I'm not exactly sure how this one's going to go, because when you look at Baraneski's professional stats thus far, which is available on my stats and content package here, 6 professional fights, but he's only had 14 minutes of professional cage time, only been fighting as a professional for just over 2 years. But Baraneski does have 20 amateur fights, and he does have a high-level judo background as well. So I think that the amateur experience and the judo experience, you know, that he's been in combat sports longer than what his professional record is telling us. And because of that, you know, I think that there could be some upside for this kid. But we got to remember, he's still only 27 years old. While he was a big underdog on Dana White's Contender Series against Muhammad Ali, that kid only had 4 fights as well. So it was 2 very inexperienced professionals squaring off. Baraneski cashes as a huge underdog here. But, you know, I think one of the things that I do talk about a lot in my fight write-ups here, which are also available on the probability stats and content package, is the betting line trends. And it's really interesting to talk about with this fight. And I'm going to be reading from my reasons to bet on Ibo Aslan. And it comes from right here in the write-up. And it says the short-term recency bias on Aslan is very bad. The short-term recency bias on Baraneski is very good. Aslan is going from being a minus 250 favorite over Billy Alicana in his last fight to being plus money for the first time in the UFC at about plus 160, plus 165 here against a debutant in Baraneski, who was a plus 230 underdog in Dana White's Contender Series against Muhammad Ali. Now he goes to being a minus 185 favorite over a guy in Aslan who's got 14 professional wins by KO. So while I'm staying away completely from this fight as a betting angle, and I'm picking Baraneski to win because I think he has more ways to win. And I really like this guy's ground and pound when he gets into top position. And Aslan's ground game just doesn't look very good to me. So I think that Baraneski with more ways to win, having power in his hands in his own right on the feet, and Aslan being on a 2-fight skid, looking like absolute hot garbage in his last fight against Billy Alicana. I want to side with the younger fighter that's bringing some more momentum into this fight and has got some upside with the judo background, the grappling upside in this fight, some power in his hands in his own right. So I'm going to go with him. But I kind of feel like from a betting angle, I'd rather play Aslan's money line at plus 165 or even Aslan by KO, which is sitting around like plus 250. I think that's a good look as well. Let me see. I'm trying to get that. I'm getting notifications from Discord. I had to mute that. All right. So, yeah, Baraneski KO1 is what I'm looking at. I'm thinking he's going to take him down and ground and pound him out or find a submission. But if he doesn't, Aslan's got a chance to knock him out. Next fight. Edson Barboza against Jalen Turner. Turner's minus 300. Barboza plus 250. Fight doesn't go to decision here, sitting at minus 400 for this fight. Yeah, Barboza is old. He's very, 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 very old. I don't think he should be taking this fight. He's too old, and he just doesn't seem to be reacting to shots very well anymore. And Jalen Turner is a guy who's got massive measurables advantages in terms of height and reach, being the southpaw in the southpaw versus orthodox matchup, being 9 years younger than Edson Barboza. And there's a big power differential. And when it comes to submission grappling, we know that Jalen's very slick on the ground. Front choke series is very good with those long-ass arms that he has. So, yeah, I think it's Jalen just kind of however he wants it. But with the money line where it is right now at about minus 300, I don't want to get involved. It's not worth backing Barboza for me. And at the same time, at 75% implied, for a guy like Turner with an 11-7 pro record, it's just not very good, you guys. The guy loses a lot. He's got a negative ROI as a UFC fighter, and that's with more wins than losses. So he's just not performing up to market expectations. But I think I'd still be very surprised if he lost this fight, because I feel like Edson just doesn't have a lot to offer here in terms of is he going to out kickbox Jalen Turner? I mean, like, nobody wants to be on the feet with this guy. 6'3" lightweight, and Barboza moved down to 145 so that he could fight smaller guys. Now he's moving back up to 155, and after getting Drakkar Close last time, now he's getting Jalen Turner. And the guys that were really landing on him, Laron Murphy, who doesn't have a lot of power, Sadiq Youssef, who hasn't shown a lot of power recently, and in the last fight, Drakkar Close. All these guys had Barboza on skates at different points in the fight, and if Turner gets him on skates, he's going to take his head off. So I think it's going to be Turner first round knockout. But I think I would rather play the inside the distance, because I think a Turner submission this week is very live, and it's priced around plus 350. I think it's a decent look this week. Next fight, very close to evenly priced fight here with Vettori at minus 115, Bruno Ferreira at minus 105. Fight doesn't go, sitting at a pick'em here at minus 110. And it just goes to show you, it's like when you get these clash of styles, it like the market doesn't know which way to go, because you got a guy in Ferreira who's been winning more fights recently. He's got more of a positive career trajectory. He's got more momentum. You got Vettori, who's negative career trajectory. He's got lost 4 of his last 5 fights. He's coming off of a long layoff before his last fight due to shoulder surgery. The guy lost his brother, which is just awful. I can't imagine what he was going through as a result of that. So, yeah, I mean, like, you've got a couple of guys who are around the same age here. Vettori's like 1 year younger, but they're going in different directions right now in their careers. But Vettori was just fighting at a much higher level than Ferreira was, and then you have that interesting matchmaking here where you got a guy in Vettori who never really gets finishes against a guy in Ferreira who has a 100% finish rate in his wins, and Vettori's never been finished. So, if Ferreira's going to keep up that 100% finish rate as a professional, he's going to have to do it against a guy that's never been finished. And then if Vettori, like Bruno Ferreira's never even seen the scorecards as a professional. So like maybe even Vettori gets a finish here because we've seen other guys be able to just absolutely run through Ferreira late in fights, guys with bad conditioning because he gasses out. So it's a really weird matchup. I'm going with Vettori by decision. I think there's some value, though. We talked about it on my Plus EV betting show earlier today on the Ferreira by decision prop because Vettori's notoriously durable, and I don't think he's like this phenomenal minute winner at distance striking range here. I think he might be doing more than Ferreira, but I think Ferreira might be landing the bigger shots. So, yeah, I mean, like, I favor Vettori because of the strength of schedule advantage, because of the conditioning advantage, because of the durability advantage, and what I see to be an offensive and defensive wrestling advantage. The guy that should decide whether this fight takes place on the feet or on the mat, I think, is Vettori. So I think there's more reasons. He has more paths to victory here. So I'm going to pick him to win a decision, but I got nothing on this fight. I think that there's a lot of different ways that this one could play out. And I'm just going to kind of, because I don't know where Vettori is right now in his career, and because I'm not a huge believer in Ferreira, I'm not going to get involved either way here. The next fight that we're going to talk about, real banger of a fight, Faris Ziam going up against Nazim Sadykhov. We got Ziam minus 133, Sadykhov plus 113. Fight doesn't go at plus money here at plus 145. So the market has this one, seeing the scorecards, I'd say, more than 60% of the time. So I'm going with a Faris Ziam decision because Sadykhov is extremely durable. But there's a couple of ways, I could see Ziam winning the minutes here. I could see Sadykhov winning moments in a couple of different rounds, or maybe winning a moment in one round, getting a takedown and some top time in another round. So I think that Sadykhov has some decision equity here. And then Sadykhov's a very durable guy with a ton of heart. And Faris Ziam's been finished 3 times by submission, one of them by Terrence McKinney, and Nazim Sadykhov has a win by submission over Terrence McKinney. So I think that there's a little bit of a grappling edge here on the Sadykhov side, and he's been training with some really good grapplers in for this camp. So I think if Sadykhov fights smart here, because in my opinion, I think Faris Ziam's the much better striker. He's taller, he's longer, he's cleaner. He is so much better defensively. It's not even close. So Faris he's way more accurate. He's way more defensively responsible. And over a long timeline, that means he's going to be landing more. And he just is so much more conscious about not getting hit. So he's going to be a tough guy to find moments against. So I do think Ziam's going to win this fight. I think his decision prop's a pretty good look this week. And I think the Sadykhov submission prop at almost 1,200 is a cheeky look this week, you guys. That might be your Uncle Weezy's cheeky prop of the week, is Nazim Sadykhov to win by submission. I believe at plus 1150 right now on BetRivers Sportsbook. But the pick there is going to be Ziam by decision. Next one, Macy Barber versus Karine Silva. We got Barber sitting up almost around minus 200 here. Karine plus 165. Fight doesn't go, sitting at plus 170. I could see either lady getting a finish here. Karine Silva is a very dangerous submission grappler, and Macy Barber's health might be a little bit of an issue. She looked good in the photos that I saw for her, media day photos and for her Getty photos for the fights. She looks like she's in great shape, but yeah, she hasn't fought in a long time. It's well over a year-long layoff here. Had to pull out of the Blachowicz fight just before the walkout due to, I think, a seizure. She's had some just a ton of health problems outside of that. She had a bunionectomy She's been through some shit, you guys. I think I mean, obviously she's already had one of her knees reconstructed after she blew it out in the Modafferi fight. So I think that Karine Silva can submit anybody if she gets the right if she gets the right opportunity in a grappling exchange. And I think that Macy maybe potentially not being 100% healthy could even set up more of a submission, or I mean more of a finish on the Karine Silva side, while Barber is just a finisher. She's very aggressive, especially in the clinch. And I think that if Karine Silva winds up going for a shitty takedown and gets put on her back, like Macy could finish with ground and pound from top position. She can finish with nasty, dirty boxing in the clinch. And she's got great kicks too out at distance striking range. So I think that this is going to be a bit of a car crash for a women's flyweight fight. So I could see a finish on either side here. But what I think is the most likely outcome is a Barber decision, because I think that she's been fighting at a higher level. She's got higher level wins on her resume. She's a little bit more aggressive at distance striking range and in the clinch. So I think if she can limit the offensive grappling success of Karine, that she's going to be winning the minutes while this fight is on the feet. And since Karine's wrestling isn't particularly reliable, I can actually maybe even see Barber having a little success in the grappling exchanges as well. However, everything pre-flop is just a guess until we see what Macy looks like on the scales. I mean, come on, you guys. She hasn't fought in over a year. She has to pull out of her fight that she missed weight in last time against Blanchfield on fight night because of a seizure. So we want to see what Macy looks like on the scale. We want to see her be up there early, looking good, 125, 125 and a half, 126, smiling, flexing. And then, she gets to rehydrate and she should be ready to fight. But if she comes in looking like death warmed over, it's going to be a fucking problem for her against somebody like Silva. So I think kind of just pre-flop, my favorite angle is to play an under here or a fight doesn't go. And if Barber looks like absolute dog shit on the scales, I think that's a great opportunity to take a dog shot on Karine Silva here. And if Macy looks good on the scales, then depending on what you think of the betting line, where it is and her chances, maybe you take a shot on Barber. But those are my thoughts on that particular fight. And then you got this one, McKinney versus Duncan. Such a fun fight, such phenomenal matchmaking. Both of these guys, I think Duncan can win by KO in round one. I think Chris Duncan can win by submission in round one. I think Terrence McKinney can win by KO in round one. I think Terrence McKinney can win by submission in round one. And I think that these guys are going to fight like two rats in a shoe until somebody gets served. And I believe somebody will get served in the first 7.5 minutes. And, most of these guys are like, well, you're not telling me anything new. And here's the shot. The under 2 or under 1.5 rounds for this fight is sitting at -400. So 80% implied probability that this fight finishes in under 7.5 minutes is what the market has driven this line to. So I guess one of the safest bets of the week, other than the Mansour Abdul Malik money line, is to bet either that the Merab Dvalishvili fight goes to decision or that the Terrence McKinney-Chris Duncan fight finishes under 7.5 rounds. So yes, somebody is probably going to get served here. I got a little bit more faith in Chris Duncan because of the durability, because of the heart, because of the chin. I think that on the feet, Duncan is good. So is McKinney. I think McKinney's the better offensive wrestler here, especially early. But he's going to have to watch out for Chris Duncan's guillotine choke. But we've seen Chris Duncan finished in round one via submission against Manny Torres when they fought about 3 or 4 fights ago for Chris. So obviously there's a path there. And Terrence in the first 3 minutes of a fight is about as athletic and explosive and dangerous as anybody in any division. So cannot wait for this fight. But I like Duncan to win this. I think he's going to win it. I think he can knock out McKinney early. I think he can submit McKinney early. And I think the same thing about McKinney about Duncan. So cannot wait for this fight. Kind of hoping it gets to round 2 because that would be really exciting. But I'm going with a Duncan KO 2 here for this fight. And I'm going to be smiling when these guys walk out. I cannot wait for that fight, dude. I mean, big ups for the matchmakers for putting that one together because that's great stuff. And then this is another, big ups to the matchmakers here for a really interesting stylistic matchup between the dominant minute-winning, suffocating grappling game of Grant Dawson and like the one-punch, moment-winning, opportunistic finishing of Loco Torres. It's going to be such a great fight. But I think Loco is just a little too loco. And when you get a little too loco against a guy like Grant Dawson, that's when you can get out a little bit over your toes. He baits you into throwing hard. And then when you do, he ducks under, he gets in on your hips. And if you may take a chance trying to get back to your feet, he gets to your back. Once he gets to your back, he kind of just keeps you there, and it's the round of the fight. And I just don't think that Torres's ground game could be anywhere near the level it needs to be in order to survive long stretches with Grant Dawson on the mat. I think Grant's probably going to get him out of there in round 1 or 2. He's never gotten anyone out of there in round 1 at the UFC level, but I certainly think it's possible. So yeah, Dawson, I'm picking a submission in round 2. I think that he's going to make this look fairly easy, but and I don't mind a money line bet even at minus 220. I think that price is good. I think he could look minus 500 here. And but there's always that shot. You have to, if you're going to lay juice on Grant Dawson, you got to get it through your head before the fight starts and before you make that bet that this could end badly. We've seen it before, but what I'm telling you is that Grant Dawson is about as dominant of a fighter that's not being thought of by the betting public as dominant as he is. So one of my favorite things to do as a bettor is to back dominant fighters. I'm backing Grant Dawson this week, and I think he gets Manny Torres out of there. Next fight, Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. This was a picture that was posted in my Discord. I don't know who Bogdan thinks he is right now, you guys. This is a guy who's dressing up like he's the fucking main character. He's wearing gloves. That's kind of fucked up, isn't it? I mean, am I don't know, maybe I'm being a prick here. I mean, like the glasses, I get it. The suit, cool. The coat and the gloves. It's like, dude, you're in fucking Vegas, right? Can't possibly be that cold in Vegas right now. I know it's December. I know it's the desert, but it's the fucking desert. What's up with the gloves, man? Why the gloves? I don't know, man. Bogdan might be thinking he's better than he is because he doesn't have me fooled. I don't think he's that good, you guys. I know. Here's what Bogdan is really good at, though. We got to give this guy his flowers. First of all, he's outperforming market expectations. 4-1 in the UFC so far. Only loss coming to a top 10 opponent in Volkan Ozdemir. He's got a big time, really positive ROI for the people that are backing him. Bogdan Guskov overall is 4-1 in the UFC with an average betting line of plus 107 and a 77% ROI. Or wait a second. Yes. And as a favorite, he's 1-0. He's covered that. But as an underdog, he's 3-1 with a 91% ROI. So he keeps kind of outperforming the market expectations. And Bogdan's got great eyes. If you present an opportunity for him to land on you, he's fast and he's accurate to the target. He's got great finishing instincts when he knows that he hurts you. If he knows that he's got you hurt, he's going to go in there looking for the kill, and he's probably going to find it. So Bogdan Guskov is the ultimate puncher's chance, but he doesn't have much of a grappling game, and he really doesn't have much of a minute-winning skill set at distance striking range at the UFC level because he's just hands. And those hands, oh my God, are they down? And Bogdan doesn't move his head. The defense just is no good, you guys. My stat sheets have distance striking defense in them. And Bogdan Guskov's distance striking defense is 51.7%. So he just gets hit very much too often, while Blachowicz is sitting here at a way above average 60% distance striking defense. And Bogdan's overall striking defense is 45%. You guys, it's not good enough. So a guy like Blachowicz is going to have more weapons at distance striking range. He's not just throwing hands. He's got great kicks too. So that's one more weapon that Jan brings at distance. He's also got a 2-inch reach advantage. He's also been fighting just the much higher level strikers, right? I mean, you see Bogdan's out there against Krylov and Elikana and Spahn and Pauga, while Jan's last 3 opponents are Carlos Ulberg, Alex Ferreira, and Magomed Ankalaev, 3 of the best strikers in the entire division. Maybe like 3 of the top 5 at least. I mean, and Alex Pereira is elite. So there's just a levels difference in the level of competition that these guys have faced. I think Blachowicz has all the grappling upside. I think Blachowicz has a lot of the minute-winning upside at distance striking range. And, I think, outside of that, I think Guskov obviously has a puncher's chance. And I think we're just getting a massive discount on the money line for Blachowicz here is because he's 42 years old, you guys. He's 42. And people don't want to bet on a 42-year-old fighter. But when you take everything else into consideration here, he's being priced the same against Guskov as he's being priced against guys like Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. I'm seeing just a massive discount. We're playing numbers, not fighters here, and I'm going with Jan Blachowicz to win this fight. And I think that a submission prop is really cheeky because Bogdan Guskov's ground game is ass, you guys. And I think Jan can run him into a dick saw if he takes him down and fights smart. Doesn't give Bogdan his best path to victory, which is just standing at kickboxing range with him and allowing him to find that moment. If Jan makes him fight a different kind of fight, a grindy kind of fight, I think that he can get Bogdan out of there with some good grappling, takedowns, top time, ground and pound, and then an eventual rear naked choke. So looking for a Blachowicz submission in round number 1 here. And then we got, the old lion in Hendry Triple C Cejudo at plus 215 going up against Peyton Talbott. Talbott's about a minus 250 favorite here, and the fight doesn't go to decision is at plus money. People think that Peyton's not going to be able to finish Hendry. I think Peyton can get him out of there in any round. I think that the guy's just got phenomenal speed and precision and great eyes at distance striking range. I think he times knees in a way that can just absolutely take your head off and finish fights. And, Cejudo is a legend. He's going to be a really tough opponent for Talbot. I think it's going to be a great learning experience for him. But if I can't count on Cejudo to really go out there and dominate the grappling exchanges of this fight, when we just have not seen him wrestle offensively much, if I can't count on him to do that, I think that Peyton is just too young, too fast, too tall, too long, too explosive. So much closer. There's being in your athletic prime, and then there's you're never going to be, a Peyton Talbot level athlete. Like I remember hearing a story many years ago about these scientists got together and they wanted to measure athletic ability, and one of the things that they would do was they were giving coordination tests, right? And they would put up, a wall in front of these athletes, and then they would light up, something on the wall, and they would judge the time between the light came on and the athlete would touch it, right? And they remembered, that they had this distribution that was pretty predictable, and there were 2 outliers that were just the difference in time between them and the next best athlete was an anomaly. It was a statistical anomaly, and it was Wayne Gretzky and Muhammad Ali. And those guys, but when they saw something, they could make their body do something much quicker than the average person can do. And I kind of feel like in MMA right now that Peyton Talbot is one of those guys. Josh Van might be one of those guys. There are some really precise and explosive special athletes, and I think Peyton Talbot's one of them. And with Cejudo, I think he could beat a lot of guys right now, but I don't think this particular type of opponent is one that he's meant to even not only beat, but I don't think he's going to look good against him at all. I think Peyton's going to I think it's going to be a really bad last fight for Henry Cejudo. I think Peyton Talbott finishes this dude, and I think he could do it in any of the 3 rounds. I think he might even do it with one of the first strikes that he lands. This kid is just different. He's absolutely different, and I don't think Henry's got anything for him right now. So I'm looking for a Talbott knockout round 3. I think a Talbott inside the distance prop is being very much underpriced this week, in my opinion. Next fight. We got Brandon Moreno going up against Tatsuro Taira. Moreno plus 105, Taira minus 125. Fight doesn't go at plus 240 here. Great fight. You know, if you're on the Taira side, you're getting the much younger guy. You're getting a guy that's got some pop on the feet, and you're getting a guy that can win rounds with back takes. He's just got a really good grappling game, really innovative, really stylistic and flashy. He gets takedowns, he gets to your back, and he finishes fights, you know, with rear naked chokes, with arm bar. I mean, he can do it in just a number of different ways. The kid's one of this new breed of grapplers that's just super fun to watch, especially when they're fighting somebody that's not quite on their level. But Brandon Moreno, he's kind of seen it all before. He's been champion of the division. He's been in there against guys like Askar Askarov, right? Davison Figueiredo, you know, Brandon Royval. Just recently in there against Alexander Pantoja, you know, so he's seen the elite of the elite grapplers of this division. So Tatsuro Taira's got a lot to prove here against a guy like Moreno, because Moreno is without question the better striker. Don't just go and watch the Hyun-Sung Park fight when Hyun-Sung Park's terrible, you know, and be like, oh, wow, this guy's striking is spectacular. Okay, it's Hyun-Sung Park. Who fucking cares? Brandon Moreno was champion of the world, and he did it with some really good boxing. So I think that Brandon's going to win the minutes on the feet. And when you watch at how hard Pantoja had to work to take this guy down and hold him down in Brandon Moreno, I don't think Tatsuro Taira is going to win a bunch of minutes with the grappling. And I think that if Brandon Moreno, those fights that he lost against Royval and against Pantoja back-to-back, I think if those fights took place in 2024, they would have been scored for Moreno on damage. Now that's, I mean, they were close, you know, I mean, I don't think it's that controversial to say that, but they were close enough fights, you know, so I just think that Moreno's an extremely tough out. And if Tatsuro Taira is shooting a bunch of takedowns and just not having any success with the grappling, I don't think Moreno's going to have to do much on the feet to win these rounds on damage. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a Brandon Moreno decision here. I like his money line. I like his decision prop. And I think that Moreno's got more of the finish upside in this fight, in my opinion, as Moreno's one of the most durable fighters in the history of the division. And Tatsuro Taira's, you know, been finishing lower level guys, not guys that are on Brandon Moreno's level. So I think this fight kind of goes to decision at a pretty high clip, and the market sees it the same way. They got it at about 75% implied. But yeah, I'm going with the Brandon Moreno decision, which brings us to the last 2 fights of the night, both title fights. We got the flyweight championship of the world on tap here with Alexander Pantoja, minus 223, going up against Josh Van, plus 188. Fight doesn't go. They're saying about 2/3 of the time this thing's going to finish inside the distance at minus 200. I'm going with Pantoja submission. I thought I would go with Van, you know, but I love the way that Pantoja sets up his takedowns because he can get them in a number of ways. He can get body locks. He can shoot a single leg or a blast double. But what he most likes to do is kind of hang around on the outside and then blast forward with like a 3 or a 4 strike combination. And then hopefully what he wants from you is because he's going to be swinging wide uppercuts and shit, trying to take your fucking head off. When you start trying to match his energy in that kind of a brawl, that's when he either gets his takedown entry or he tries to just take your back standing. And then once he gets your back standing with that seatbelt grip around your waist, that's when he starts looking to either jump on your back standing, pull you into his lap, or start to work you down to the ground. Now, once this guy gets on your back, unless you are a high level and very experienced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, it's fucking over. You're just not going to last on the ground for extended stretches with Pantoja on your back with a body triangle in. And Josh Van, is such a good young fighter. I mean, this guy has accomplished so much. You know, I here, and I'll read this to you guys here from my fight write-ups, because I think that it's from my summary of the fight. And I just want to talk about what I said about Josh Van here. I think it's important to read. Josh Van is an elite prospect. He had his first professional MMA bout just over 4 years ago. He made his UFC debut at the age of 21 after racking up a 7-1 record on the regional scene. And that was over a period of just 15 months where he goes 7-1, right? Then he gets his UFC debut. He wins a split decision over Zhalgas Shumagulov. He gets off to an 8-1 start in the UFC. And now, after just 4 years of fighting as a professional, at 24 years of age, he's getting matched up against Alexander Pantoja for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World. So I think it's really special what our guy Josh Van has accomplished in this short of a period of time, you guys. But he's only been grappling for that long, right? I mean, like, Van is a guy that I think he's got some amateur experience as well, but he just started wrestling like when he became pro. So Pantoja is going to have a massive grappling advantage here. And when you watch how he strikes, he's just got a very just explosive style. And I think that Pantoja is the more durable guy. He's going to be the guy less likely to get knocked out. And I think he can match Van's power on the feet. Now, if he just stands at distance striking range with Josh Van and tries to not, lose the pressure battle and stands and strikes with him over an extended stretch, that's not going to go well for him, I don't think. Josh Van, I'm rating him as the much better striker and minute winner while this fight is at distance striking range. But how much of it is going to take place at distance striking range? Because Van is a guy who spends a lot of time there, and that's a good thing because that's where Van does his best work. 83% of his UFC octagon time is spent at distance striking range. For a guy like Pantoja, over 17 UFC fights, 214 minutes in the UFC octagon, it's only 56%. And he's winning 75% of those control time positions, and he's finished 8 of those 14 UFC wins, 6 of them by submission. So I'm going with Pantoja, and I'm going with Pantoja by submission. This is how Pantoja wins fights, and we've seen Joshua Van, not only get knocked out by Charles Johnson, but also get submitted on the regional scene. And I think that's where Pantoja has the biggest advantage. I think that's where he's going to try to take this fight. And I think his creative ways of getting to your back is what's going to set up the finish for him in this spot. Going with Pantoja and still second round submission. The main event of the evening, Merab Dvalishvili by Peter Yan. You guys, it was always Dvalishvili by decision. I think there's other ways that you can try to be cheeky and be like, yeah, Merab's going to snatch up a submission. He's going to catch his first KO. No, he's going to win by decision. He's so good. He's not human. He's this fucking cyborg. I think he's got metal inside of his chest, and like there's not even a heart in there. It's just something that continuously produces energy. It might not be even human technology. This guy is just, his style is kryptonite for literally just about everybody in the division, except for Umar Nurmagomedov is the only one who I think has been anywhere close. So I'm going with Merab Dvalishvili to win this one by decision. And I think it's a great straight bet. I think it's a nice little parlay piece this week. And a little bit of a sneak peek. It's going to be the last leg of this week's Greasy 4-leg parlay, you guys. The Uncle Weezy's Bootsy Collins Memorial Dogs Are Barking pick of the week this week. Which underdog are we going to back? And I'm backing a few guys that are pretty close to, like, we got Brandon Moreno, who's an underdog here. Blachowicz, who's close to a pick 'em, but not really. And then it's also going to be Muhammad Naimov is the only other dog that I'm backing, but I'm going with Brandon Moreno at plus 105. I want to cash this. I've got a money line bet on Brandon this week. I love the scrambling ability. I love the takedown defense. And when he does get taken down, he's got really good defensive grappling. And I believe that he's going to be able to get back up and understand that he cannot let Tatsuro Taira get to his back. And I don't think that Taira has really proven that he can be a persistent wrestler for 3 rounds yet. I don't think that that's been proven yet. I think what he's used to doing is getting that first takedown attempt or that second takedown attempt and then staying on somebody's back for 4 minutes. But with somebody like Brandon Moreno, you might take him down once or twice, but Brandon's going to keep getting back up. And if he does that, if it's a lot of ups and downs, I think the second half of that fight, Moreno's really going to take over, especially if he starts stuffing the takedowns and landing some big shots on the feet. And I could see Brandon Moreno getting a finish here, you guys. We saw that Brandon Royval nearly got Tatsuro Taira out of there in round number 3 when they fought. So I think it's a great little underdog spot this week. I played his money line, and that's going to be my Bootsy Collins Memorial Dogs Are Barking pick of the week, which brings us to the last order of business for the full card breakdown. Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. Who's going to win? Who's going to win violently at the right price and make it look easy? Make it look like one of the easiest money line bets to cash of the week. And we can even ladder it up and be like, since Weezy said that this dude was going to shave ass, let's get him to win inside the distance as well. And I'm not going to really put you into a lot of suspense because there's a lot of good options. Now, Abdul Malik's minus 1,200. You don't need me to tell you that he's going to shave some ass. Baraneski, I like him, but Ibo Aslan, I think, is very dangerous. And I think that the market has just there's been too far of a shift from Aslan's last fight and where he was priced and Baraneski's last fight to where he was priced to where these guys are being priced in this fight. So I think that there's got to be some value on the Aslan side here and for a number of different reasons. So even though I'm confident Baraneski gets the win, don't want to tell you that he's going to shave ass. Turner's a stunt puller, in my opinion, and he already pulled a stunt by retiring. So let's, if you're confident in him, that's cool. I'm confident that he's going to win too, but I'm just not confident enough to put my money behind it. So I'm not going to tell you to put yours behind it. Decision. Oh boy, Duncan's a great option for the ass shaving of the week, because Terrence McKinney is a guy who's been knocked out so many times. And we know how dangerous. I mean, like Terrence McKinney, if you think he's going to win, he's a great candidate for the ass shaving of the week because he doesn't know how to win any other way. But I think Duncan would be a great option. I think Grant Dawson is going to be a great option. I think he's going to take down Loco Torres and milk him on the mat. And I like that. Blachowicz, I think that's a great ass shaving of the week. I think Talbott can kind of surprise people by getting a finish. So there's so many good options. Pantoja. But you guys, I'm going with Grant Dawson this week. I'm going with Grant Dawson to shave the ass of Loco Torres. And I know it's risky. But you know what? Fortune favors the bold, you guys. And just because Manny Torres knocks a lot of people out, it doesn't mean he's going to be able to plant his feet and swing for the fences against a guy like Dawson. Because if you make one mistake against this guy, he gets your back. He stays there for the rest of the round, and it's either the round or the fight. And I think it's going to be the fight because Grant Dawson's ground and pound has gotten a lot better, you guys. And his submission game and ability to be able to get the rear naked choke has always been one of his best qualities as a fighter. Grant Dawson absolutely symbolizes what I love to bet on as a gambler, and that is dominant fighters. And I did a little bit of a calculation, and I believe it's in, I don't know, maybe I wrote it in my summary here, but how many rounds has he fought and how many of them did he win? I don't see it here, but what I did was I think that he's only lost 2 rounds in the UFC, Grant Dawson. I think that he lost round 3 against Rick Glenn. He lost round 1 against Bobby Green. And if you look at every other fight, they're all 30-27s, and in some cases there's one 29-28, but he's winning every fucking round, and he's finishing half of his wins. So I think he's one of the most dominant fighters on the roster right now. I think he's criminally underrated, and I'm picking him to shave some ass, and I got a big bet on his money line this week. What's up with you guys in the chat? It's now time. Oh, no, wait. One more order of business, you guys. We got the Greasy 4-leg parlay. So let me share my screen, and we're going to go leg 1. Is going to be Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week, the Grant Dawson money line. And you have my blessing if you want to put a little more meat on the bone here of this parlay to make it Grant Dawson inside the distance, but I'm just going with the money line here at minus 225. That's going to be leg number one. Leg number two is going to be the Jan Blachowicz money line for several different reasons. Maybe the biggest reason being this bullshit outfit by Bogdan Guskov. Why the fuck are you wearing gloves? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, Bogdan Guskov? Who dresses like that? Is that what people in Uzbekistan do? Huh? Is that what's hot right now? Is that what's going on the streets of fucking Tashkent? These people are walking around looking like a goddamn hitman wearing fucking gloves so that the powder burns don't get on your hand and the cops can't arrest you for fucking murder? You're getting murdered, Bogdan. I don't know, dude. Why the gloves? Why the gloves? And those glasses are weird too, man. And the shaved head. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it. Your Uncle Weezy's not feeling it. So I'm betting on Jan Blachowicz to get a win there. That's leg number two, minus 137. That brings our two-leg parlay up to plus 151. Leg number three, the Bootsy Collins Memorial. Dogs are barking. Pick of the week. Brandon Moreno money line at plus 102. Plus 102. Yep. I got him at plus 107 earlier. That brings our three-leg parlay up to plus 407. And then it was always, and it always will be, Merab Dvalishvili by decision, you guys. Siberia couldn't finish Peter Yan. So why would Merab Dvalishvili? Minus 220 on the last leg there. Brings this four-leg parlay on Bet Rivers Sportsbook up to plus 640. We cashed 3 out of 4 legs last week, but our guy Ryan Loader went to Thailand and wanted to test out his striking, and it didn't work out well for him, you guys. He got one-punch knockout by a guy that has never knocked anyone down in 8 UFC fights. So, yeah, Ryan Loader, thank you for fucking up the fourth leg of the Greasy four-legger last week. But this week, we're looking to cash this thing at a plus 640 on Bet Rivers Sportsbook. And once again, if you want to support my work, there are 10 spots left on that Odds Shopper probability stats and content package here. You can get your first month's membership for only $12.50, and that's the best way to support my work. Support your Uncle Weezy. You're going to get access to the fight write-ups, the stat sheets, the betting models, 2-hour full card breakdown show every week for Balls Deep Breakdowns, 2-hour plus EV prop betting show every week called Probability. You're going to get access to all my track bets, access to my Discord where we got a great community of MMA bettors that talk about fights, and access to me, your Uncle Weezy, your favorite uncle. And yeah, it's a great way to give your Uncle Weezy a great holiday present is to sign up for the probability stats and content package. And you'll be giving yourself a present too, because you'll be getting access to information that nobody else really has and that I do. So join up, be a part of the club, click it and join me. And it'll only cost you $12.50 for your first month. 10 spots available. Please come up and join me. Who's hanging out in the chat today? We got my guy Forrest Daniels in the room saying nobody puts in the hours of homework like our great and powerful Uncle Weezy. Let's smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Truly appreciate you, my man. What am I going to do with the 6-week break from the UFC? Got to make some changes in my database. Got to update that. Data science is going to be one of the things that I'm trying to do. Also, automation of my stat updating process and creation of my stats products. I'm looking to kind of utilize AI to help me take some grunt work off of my plate every single week. A little bit of relaxation and rest, hanging out with the family and friends. My birthday is New Year's Day, so I'll be celebrating my birthday, going out for a nice dinner. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on, and I'm probably going to try to get down to Florida to visit with my dad. So, and I'm also going to go down to Indianapolis to visit with my brother. I basically work 7 days a week because of the stats product that I put out, because of the fight write-ups, because of all the on-camera time that I do every week between stat diggers, between the 4 hours I do on camera for my Odds Shopper subscribers. Add to that this show, any guest appearances that I do on other people's shows. you know, I'm working 50, 60-hour weeks, 7 days a week, every week that there's UFC fights. So this 6-week break is going to be huge. I'm gonna probably cry when the year is over because we're getting these extra weeks off. I really need it, and I need it to have some time, some extended time away from capping fights, so that I can do the kind of stuff behind the scenes that needs to be done to take all this content to the next level. And I can get the help that I need during that time off to make it and do it the right way. So that's what I'm doing with the time off. We got T-Carb saying, "Oi, yes, what is up, dude?" And saying, "Uncle, if you and Brady are around during the 6 weeks off, we need the Stat Diggers filled with stories and BSing with the chat. Happy holidays and best wishes to you and your family. Thank you for all you do." Yeah, if somebody wants to sponsor a show, you know, and but you know, I mean, obviously we need this time off so badly, T-Carbs. It's fucking crazy how much we need the time off. So it's like, if somebody wants to sponsor it, we could absolutely do that and have a lot of fun with it. But if nobody wants to sponsor that, we're going to probably, instead of working for free, I'm probably going to spend time with my family and enjoy this much earned and needed vacation. And my guy JMO saying, "I need some love today, Weezy. It was a tough one out there. If you're anywhere near me, it's fucking cold. It's fucking snowing. It's freezing. Hopefully all is well, JMO. Big ups, big love to you, brother." Saying, "Hoping all is well with me." I'm about 9 days away from the last UFC event of the year, and I'm going to just absolutely melt for a couple of days because it's been a very long year, you guys. We work hard. You know, us content creators, we work really hard. And I think that most of them kind of feel the way that I do, that they're, after a long, 2025, they're looking forward to this break, man. And we got my guy Olajuwon in the room saying, "Oi, what is up, dude?" We got Chris in the room saying, "Oi, Weezy, hello from Windsor. Tonight I'm hitting that ChemDog 91 times Topanga OG from my garden. Cheers, homie." Dude, yeah, man. Chief up, take one for your Uncle Weezy. I got some Chicago tap water here. I don't have any alcohol in the house. Gonna probably save up for the holidays a little bit. I'll have some drinks with family and friends, but right now, no alcohol in the house. Just keep on with the water. Enjoy that weed, my friend. I hope it hits beautifully. We got Boomer saying, "Oi, what is up, dude?" We got Mitchell in the room saying, "What's up, Weezy? Hope you're doing well, my man. We need to savor these next 2 cards before our 6-week UFC tolerance break coming up. Let's give the bookies an ass shaving this week." I absolutely second that, my man. We got Wolf is in the room saying, "Oi, I never got any of the donations from when I was in jail." That's rough. I thought we had organized something, but maybe it was like I was supposed to organize it, and I thought Brady was going to organize it. But just know, Sadykhov, that we meant the best, and we're glad to have you out, brother. And I'm really hoping that Sadykhov Dumas gets that dream matchup against Bo Nickel on the White House lawn. I think that's what the United States wants, and I think that if Donald Trump really kind of wants to recapture the hearts of the American public, he's got to somehow make sure that Sadykhov Dumas fights Bo Nickel on the White House lawn. I think we all deserve that. We could heal together as a country. We got Boomer in the room. Just say Marab clip, Aileen Perez pumped up. Oh, yeah, I love that. That's a great one, dude. Marab, great. I mean, he's a black belt in ass slapping as well as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So good on Marab for taking care of Aileen there. We got my guy Wildberry is in the room saying the sex tape. It wasn't a sex tape, was it? Please tell me that there's not a Marab sex tape with Aileen Perez, man. We got MMA Casual in the room saying, "Oh, nice to catch this live again. Good to have you in the room, my man." We got David in the room saying, "Oi, Unc, 5 a.m. in Czechia. Welcome to the Czech. Is Czechia different than the Czech Republic? I think it's the same thing, right? But fucking big up, Czechia. I'm glad you're watching the show, David. Hope all is well, my man. We got Live Dogs MMA in the room saying, "Brandon Moreno, live dog of the week. You're welcome." Well, looks like my guy Live Dogs and he agrees with the Bootsy Collins Memorial Dogs Are Barking pick of the week. Merab is probably going to win, but I'll still bet, yeah, and there's some value there, I guess, on the money line, but I think it was always Merab by decision. At work, says my guy Boy Blue, caught Weezy live. Good to see you hanging out in here, my man. I hope all is well, brother. We got Dixon in the room saying, Prophet, I usually come in with a joke, but today they buried one of my fraternity brothers that I pledged back in 2011. I'm not sure what happened, but he's gone at the age of 34. Rest in peace, Ian Stewart. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. You know, I've lost a couple of fraternity brothers over the year. My one of my brothers, Mike Jerkowski, died very young of an overdose. We've had a couple of accidents happen, things like that. Always really sad when you lose somebody that you pledged with, somebody that you shared the house with, somebody that, you know, you were good friends with and shared those really fun college years with, man. So, best of love, big rest for your brother Ian Stewart there, man. We got Brandon in the room saying, guys, I didn't see UFC 1 through 322. Shit, man, dude, you're like somebody that needs to watch the entire Law of Order franchise, which is like something like 400 episodes. We don't have time to catch you up, Brandon. We don't have time to catch you up, buddy. But DM me in the Discord. I can. I'll just send you my database. I got 2013 up until now. I got the results of every fight. We'll catch you up. We'll catch you up, dude. We got official VOR in the room saying, hey, Uncle Weezy, how do you feel about rising beef prices in Canada? And what are we going to do about it? We've got rising beef prices here in Chicago, my friend. I remember when I moved into this place here, the taqueria right around the corner from me, which has the best burritos in town, the best steak burritos. A steak burrito was $8. Right now, it's $17 for the same burrito. And I've been here less than 5 years. So we've had beef prices double here in the States. They were using the COVID supply chain as an excuse for a while. I don't know why it's going up, but it's probably manufactured by private equity somehow. That's my guess. I don't know what we're going to do about it. I don't have the fucking solution, unfortunately. We got my guy J-Mo in the room saying, today was a burner, Dixon Cider. I feel the pain. I lost a loved professor of mine and failed thermodynamics. Oh, fuck, man. That sucks, dude. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thermodynamics, that is not a fucking easy class either, dude. We got JWB in the room saying, hey, Weezy, I like the late show. I wanted to get it done today so that tomorrow I could do things that I need to get done. I need to get like laundry done. I got to go fucking grocery shopping. Bunch of shit needs to get done tomorrow. So I wanted to get the show done tonight so that I could have a free day tomorrow to get a lot of shit done before I have to get right back in front of this computer and get my stats done for the last UFC Vegas event card of the year. We got Sad Power said that he's going to bet on Naimov. You're going to be joining me, Sad. I already bet on him myself. I see about 4 underdogs that I like. What about you? I think that I'm picking 2 to win, and I think that there are a couple others that are good bets at the current price. I think Aslan's got some value at his current price. I think that what did I say here? Moreno, obviously. Naimov. I think McKinney can have some value, especially in round 1. I think if Macy Barber looks terrible on the scale, I think Karini Silva is going to have some value. I think Sadykhov inside the distance or Sadykhov by sub could be a good way to play him. Yeah, Aslan, Naimov. Yeah, interesting spots for sure. We got little Ben in the room saying, yeah, Naimov is too big and strong. Yeah, he's a pretty big physical guy, but Santos is a big dude too. You know, very big dude for sure. We got James Krause is in the room saying, Weezy, glad to be back in here. I had to lay low for a couple of weeks. Anybody fading Brandon this week is going to be in for a sweat. Which Brandon? Brandon Moreno? Brandon. Any other Brandons on the card? There's usually like 4 Brandons on every card. So let me look. I hope you didn't mean Bogdan. So yeah, anybody fading Brandon is going to be in for a sweat. Yeah, I think I'm going with Brandon Moreno to win as well, my man. We got Sad Power saying Naimov by decision. I put 300 to win 1,600. So you got a little bit more than I put I put no, just a half unit. I put a half unit to win what was it, plus 480. So half unit to win like 2.4 units. We got my guy with the super sticker, JWB, $1.99. Appreciate you, my man. Ring a ding ding, you guys. Keeping the lights on in his Uncle Weezy's office. Truly appreciate it. Imagine a Trocoli win, says my guy Sad Power. Yeah, that would be wild, right? I mean, like, that would be the ultimate steakhouse bet. That would probably be like, how could Abdul Malik fuck that up? But yeah, it does look like it's going to be a first round finish for Abdul Malik. But if Trocoli win, that would be absolutely fucking crazy, man. Omni King saying getting old is a blessing. Not everyone makes it, and it is very, very true. And JWB saying that he's looking forward to watching the fights on Paramount. That makes two of us, my man. Absolutely. Sad Power likes he likes Ibo Aslan to win by knockout. I think that's a sharp play this week, man. Like 240, 250 for an Ibo Aslan knockout. That's how he wins fights. And I think it's a good look, Sad Power. I don't mind it at all. My guy Josh also likes Ibo Aslan this week. I didn't have the balls to pick Ibo to win the fight, Josh, because I think Baraneski has more ways to win because I like the judo. I like the ground game, and he's got some power in his hands in his own right. But Ibo's got serious power, big strength to schedule advantage, big experience advantage. And like we were talking about the pricing as well. So I think there's a lot of reasons that sharp bettors are going to be on Ibo Aslan this week. I've got nothing on the fight personally. We got Sad Power saying Ibo Turkish power. And to this dude here, nobody fucking cares if you want proof of their bets, little Ben. Nobody fucking cares. We're here to talk about the fights. Nobody has to prove shit to you. Okay, man? So quit fucking bothering them. JWB saying, I'm looking forward to watching the fights on Paramount, as am I. This is what I do, Dr. Peener. I preach. You do ICU urology work, which is far more important, my friend. But this is what I do. I preach about MMA. So why not Turner by sub? Why not, dude? My plus 350. I like it a lot, my man. We got yo, it's me demonic saying just got to the gym. Girlfriend has the daughter time to get this pump in and listen to some Weezy. Let's go, man. Enjoy. Get a good pump on in that gym, dude. We got Davidson. I think it'll be decision. Barboza went to decision with Murphy. Yeah, man, and it could be a decision there. A lot of people are paying way up for Turner's inside the distance prop. It's very close to his money line. We got JWB saying, I missed your last show. Hope your picks hit. Yeah, they were good last week. I was up 1.7 units on my track bets. I think my picks were 10-4 on the 14 fights, 10 wins, 4 losses. And we hit 3 of the 4 legs on the Greasy 4-legger, but the dog pick of the week was the one that failed. It was Ryan Loader, but the ass shaving of the week hit, but it didn't hit spectacularly. It was Denzel Freeman. He won the fight pretty easily, but it was not a spectacular performance. Turner is far more dangerous than Murphy, and I definitely second that. Marvin looks turbo washed, though. Yeah, he might be, dude. He might be, and that's why I'm staying away from the fight. I don't really want to back him either. I think you can make a really good argument as why you would bet both sides. But for me, Josh, it's just kind of a weird fight, man. Ziam is hard to beat, says Sad Power. Yeah, I mean, like he's tall, he's long, he's very technical, he's very good defensively. And when you're fighting good defensive fighters, it's just hard to score points against them. Yeah, too defensively sound for Sadykhov. I agree there. Easy play is fight to go to decision, but I mean, Sadykhov might be able to find some success in the grappling, but I don't mind it. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about actually the Vettori fight there or the Ziam fight. Do you know what apps have the best first time offers? I do know that on Sleeper, if you go to Sleeper and you use the code Weezy UFC, you'll get a $100 match of your first deposit with Sleeper. And if you use that code, you will be able to get a $100 match on a $100 entry. But Other than that, I don't have any codes because I'm not sponsored by any sports books, so I don't really have anything to give out there, my man. Let me see here. Go back to the comments. What is going on here? All right, so Weezy, sorry I'm late, says my guy 33. Good to have you here, man. I'm glad you made it. We got Benito saying Duncan round 2 submission plus 1,600. I don't mind that at all, man. I think that's a really fat number. We got Benito saying minus 400 makes sense. Can't believe I didn't bet the minus 220, but I parlayed it with the over in the Moreno fight at minus 300. Yeah, I don't mind that, dude. I think the Moreno over is pretty good. I think maybe Moreno gets a finish, and you always got to worry about Taira finding a submission because the guy's got phenomenal submissions. But yeah, that's not a bad look either, dude. We got my guy Sam is in the room. Good to see Sam hanging out here, one of my odd shopper community. We got Lethal Sugar saying Guskov will knock out an aging Jan. I hope you're wrong, but I could see it happen, my man. I mean, Guskov's fast and accurate and powerful. So you never know when that drop-off is going to come for an aging fighter. So I told everybody, as much as I like Jan this week, and I think he's going to win, a Guskov by knockout prop, in my opinion, has got some decent value this week. Hitman, yeah, it looks like Hitman fucking, you're talking about the gloves, right? You know, I mean, he kind of looks like a fucking Hitman. Guskov, are there glory hole companies? Like, that's something that craftsmen do. Like, you open up a bar and you call up, Good Glory Hole, or, they come, they got the drill bit. Fucking shit. Glory Hole Company. Yeah, Agent 47 from the Hitman series. So maybe this is an actual like thing that he's doing here. I'm just like, what's up with the gloves, man? Bogdan is the Hitman, says Truth Hurts. Look up Hitman Agent 47, Weezy. You will get the gloves. Okay, man. Thank you. Thank you for helping me because I don't know what the fuck that is. So the gloves are back. We got Bogdan knockout, says John D'Amato in the room. Pitbull times Agent 47. And I have to say, I'm going to just so you guys know, I'm going to let you guys into my life just a little bit more. I think Pitbull is fucking terrible. That's some of the worst fucking just Bush League trash ass music. Fuck Pitbull, man. That is just the worst. What a candy ass that guy is. This friend of my girlfriend's went to fucking high school with that dude. And I was like, well, what was he like? She goes, what do you think he was like? I'm like, I think he was a fucking douchebag. She goes, yeah, it sounds like you went to my fucking high school. So yeah, turns out, that Pitbull's a douchebag. Who knew, right? We got Jerky Boy KC in the room saying the UFC hired him to cut some bills. What do you think of the Pantoja van over 2.5 rounds? I don't particularly care for it, Count Christian. I think that Pantoja is going to be very live for an early sub here. My guy Brady saying I'm not feeling good about my Jan bet after seeing this picture. Yeah, but Bogdan, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I personally don't like it, but you never know. There might be aura in this. Maybe I'm missing out. I'm kind of old. I don't know what's hot. I don't know what's going on in the streets right now. So maybe Bogdan, maybe he's got that, main character syndrome there. I mean, we're going to find out, right? We got W saying, I'm young and hip. Gloves made a comeback. They did? Really, dude? Holy shit, because I'm not young and hip anymore, so I'm going to have to take my guy WMMA's word for it. Gloves made a fucking comeback. I can't believe it. Jan will not get knocked out, but he could lose. Yes, he could lose some, a damage-based decision, I think, for sure. But Jan is a good boxer. He's a very good boxer and a better kickboxer because, Bogdan's a really good boxer, but he's not very defensively responsible. And I think that Jan's got the much better kicks. Bogdan is fast, but he's going the distance with Jan unless Jan somehow knocks him out or if he takes him down and finds a submission. Jan is 43. he can get knocked out by Guskov. I mean, yeah, I think he could potentially get knocked out by Guskov. Guskov has got great eyes. He's fast. He's got good power. So, I mean, I think if Guskov hits anybody just right, he can get him out of there. He's never been knocked out in his whole career. Bogdan isn't getting knocked out. Jan isn't getting knocked out. If Hank and Alex couldn't knock out Jan, Bogdan has no chance, and yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good point, Guskov KO says Lethal Sugar. We got Cope. I'll cry for your loss of dollars because you don't do research. I'm not sure who you're talking to there. D Spearman saying, Weezy, my guy D is in the room. What's up, man? It's good to see you, dude. Peyton's going to take a dive for $50K. You think he would, man? I mean, $50K is a decent amount of money, but I think, see, like a guy like Henry Cejudo, if you're going to take a dive against him, I feel like I could get more money than that. I think I can get 6 figures at least for taking a dive against Henry. He's a 2-time UFC champion in 2 different divisions and a gold medalist. I think you can get better. Dalby was never knocked out, then got knocked out by Brown. Yep, that is very, very true. We can disagree. That's okay. No need to wish ill will. That is childish. Yeah, agreed, man. Max was never KO'd and was knocked out by Ilya. That is correct. It's most definitely possible. I'm going to cry, my friend. Cry if you haven't made that bet. Don't do it. Literally trying to help you out. Don't do it. We got Henry should be fighting Vera. Yeah, like he should be fighting someone closer to his own age, I think. Henry is not getting finished here. We're going to find out. We're going to find out on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a great opportunity for Peyton Talbott to kind of announce himself to the world by beating somebody that's a few rungs up the ladder than what he's gotten a win against so far. So very interesting stuff there, man. We got Aylin Perez's butthole in the room saying, love me a Peyton Talbott money line, Jalen Turner money line parlay this week. I think that hits, dude. I think that hits. We got Jock in the room saying you're probably right. Talbott and Henry Cejudo can comfortably go the distance. That might be your best bet. We got B-Neg saying agreed. We got they know each other's style and have trained before. Both have chins and both have good boxing and good wrestling. It's too hard to predict who wins. The Cejudo fight is going to decision is minus 215. I like it. So you like it at about 69% implied probability? It's a big number, man. For a guy like Peyton Talbott who lands like 8 significant strikes per minute and who's got a really good chin. And I don't know if Henry really has any power left, especially at 135. And I would check Moreno versus Taira. Both have never been finished or knocked out. Good fight to bet, goes the distance. And yeah, the market's all over that one. It's minus 300. Truth Hurts saying Van has a chance to win in a possible rematch. Dude is talented, but he's so green. I agree with you there. B-Neg saying that one at minus 290 to go the distance. I was on the fence about that one. I would stay away from Van versus Pantoja. Very hard to predict who wins. I would have bet on Pantoja, but after watching all of Van's fights, I find it very hard to think that Pantoja can take him down. Yeah, Van's got good takedown defense. He does, man. And he can get up quickly in the rare occasions where he got taken down. But, Pantoja's on a different level of grappler than the guys that he's faced. Van has been taken down multiple times, and that's true. Parlay goes the distance for Peyton and Moreno, says Jock Marsden. W likes Moreno, so do I. Van has not been taken down multiple times, and when he got taken down on rare occasions, he's gotten up fairly quickly. I think it's a fight to stay away from, in my opinion. Maybe do over 2.5 for Van versus Pantoja, but if he gets taken down, he could get submitted for sure. Crazy that Pantoja's last loss was before Van or even made his amateur MMA debut. That is wild stuff, dude. And Jock saying, that's why I don't like betting on the co-main this time. I'm still dealing with the PTSD from Urseg versus Pantoja, where Urseg would have won if he didn't. Yeah, because Urseg went for 2 different takedowns in round 5 and got reversed on both of them. And Van is better than Urseg. He's a better striker, that's for sure. Bootsy is still with us, though, you guys. But Bootsy, my dog, my Rottweiler, my precious Rottweiler that was part of the family, Bootsy Collins, the Rottweiler, is no longer with us. And Bootsy Collins, the musician, has a Rottweiler that recently passed away as well. So, yeah, Bootsy likes Rottweilers. We named after our Rottweiler after Bootsy Collins, who's one of our favorite musicians and is also a Rottweiler lover. Cejudo to go to the distance and Moreno to go to the distance. Parlayed is even money. I like it. Dawson via hugging like a bitch for 15 minutes, says KZ, and then I'll cash that money line bet. We got Jock saying, yes, sir. Michael is in the room saying, what's good, Weezy? What do you think of this possibly being the last UFC pay-per-view? I think it's a good thing, man. I'm going to be paying for Paramount Plus starting in the new year and looking forward to seeing how the UFC partners up with them. I think anything is better than ESPN. Anything is better than Disney. Get those losers out of there. I'm so glad I don't have to do business with them anymore, and I'm hoping for the best for the future here with Paramount Plus for the UFC. Parlayed it and added it because I'm really confident in Merab. You could do all three. Oh, you do still got people. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think it's a Paramount Plus, maybe US thing. But I remember, I think I was listening to Cody Safdie and Paul Shaughnessy, and they were saying something about, or maybe it was Dravi who was saying it, that like he's not sure how the Paramount Plus thing is going to work in Canada. I feel like Merab's brain shifted to his lungs. They might have, dude. It certainly might have. I was thinking about your and Brady's idea for the strip club steakhouse. I will be a bartender, and the signature drink will be a frozen margarita, the Uncle Freezy. Holy shit, dude. That's a fucking killer name. I'm stealing that from you, and that's what I'm going to name a frozen drink, which is going to be something with tequila, grapefruit juice, and maybe some other citrus and maybe a little spice. I don't know. But the Uncle Freezy, I got to write that down right now. Excuse me while we're going to take a quick break here on the show while I write down frozen drink name, Uncle Freezy. This is the kind of gold I get every once in a while in my fucking chat. Big ups to Official VOR. We got B-Neg saying, I'm not taking Merab minus 500. Yeah, I mean, you never know, man. It's 37 degrees for, holy shit. I am going to give Bogdan a break if it's 37 degrees. That's fucking cold, man. That's cold. We got 210 Wade saying, holy aura. Yeah. You like it, man. This guy, he's never played a video game. Hey, what are you talking about, man? I've played, dude, 1994. I was playing Sega hockey like crazy, dude. NBA Jam. We were playing Tecmo Bowl. Dude, I played some video games back in the 90s. He said Hitman. He's dressed like Agent 4. I just don't know who that is, man. Praying to God the entertaining fighter in Torres wins. He might, man. He does kind of look sharp. I agree. But the gloves, man, I'm like, I thought maybe he was dressing up like a character. I didn't realize he was actually dressing up. It's Johnny Sins. Great stuff. Even though he's high odds for a reason. Everyone knows he's going to win. Guy has the best cardio in the world, and he already beat Peter before. Merab's a much better fighter now than he was 3 years ago when he fought Peter. And if he could beat Sean O'Malley and Umar Nurmagomedov, then Peter Yan is easy money. For that price, I'm staying away. I think Yan could win. Let's make some money, says my guy Manny. Appreciate you, dude. We got B-Nag saying Merab rushed back for a stupid reason. Yeah, just to have the most title defenses in 1 year, right? My guy Tim Febby in the room saying, be safe, Unc. Happy holidays. Happy birthday, Unc. Truly appreciate you, Tim. Same to you. Hope you have a great holiday break here and a great holiday season. We got Tyreek Will in the room saying, oh, what is up, dude? I bet with the GOAT saying, is this the channel for MMA engagement farming? I'm not exactly sure what that means. Is that like when you say shit to piss people off so that they'll fucking holler back at you? If that's the case, no, I'm not really here for an engagement farming. I'm here to just talk fights, have some fun, put together some parlays, try to stack cash tickets like flapjacks. Saying new here, welcome to it, man. Just watch the show and I hope you enjoy it. We about to bash these bookies' balls in this weekend, says my guy, the Beat Fanatic. We got Jerk Boy KC saying meant the best. We got good day, Weezy. Brady sent me here for a good piping. Says my guy, the Parlay Puncher. Good to see you hanging out in here, my man. Appreciate you. Official VOR saying it's for predictions and betting, bro. Yes, sir. That's what it is. It's not for engagement farming, my man, but welcome to the channel. I want Mackenzie Dern. Get in line, dude. Get in line. I think there's a bunch of other people that do too. I don't think Jan will win, but it's MMA. And yeah, dude, it's MMA. We can never be positive about anything. You know, crazy shit happens sometimes, man. Can someone explain value? Like, even if a fighter is very unlikely to win, how is it value? Well, there's a bunch of different explanations for that, but most of the time you're just taking what the betting line is, you convert that betting line with a mathematical formula into an implied probability, right? So if you look here on my betting model for over-under bets, right? You know, like you can see here that the bet for fight doesn't go to decision is plus 240, and the implied probability of that plus 240 betting line is 29.4%. So when somebody's saying they see value, what they're saying is that the betting line says that this fight is not going to go to decision 29% of the time, but then somebody might be able to make some compelling arguments. Like, for instance, we've had 350 flyweight fights in the flyweight division that have been scheduled for 3 rounds since the year 2013. 157 of them finished inside the distance. That's 45%. We're only paying 29% for this line. Brandon Moreno and Tatsuro Taira have had 13 combined fights at the UFC level. 6 of them finished inside the distance. That's 46% of their total 3-round fights have finished inside the distance, but we're only paying 29% for the fight doesn't go to decision. So you could take that price that you're paying, the plus 240, take that price and make it into a percentage, and then just say, what are the percentages that this event happens? And if we're coming up with a percentage of 40, but we're paying a price of 30, then we're saying, well, that's value, because I think that this happens 40% of the time. The betting line says it only happens 30% of the time. If I were to make this bet 100 times, I would have 10% value making this bet over the long term. So that's how people define value, but it's all pre-flop. You know, the fight happens and then your value bet might not look like value after it's all over. And let's see here. We got AFG Baller saying, Weezy, been following you for 2 to 3 years. You've been making me money, so I appreciate you. Well, thank you for hanging out with us, man. I love it that when people are making money because of the advice that I'm giving in here. The idea is that over a long term, a couple of the underdogs will win and pay off the lost bets plus profit, right? AFG Baller saying, just cashed out 25 to win 1,900. Bet for $22 in the Cowboys game. I'm sick. Oh my God. Wow. Wow, 1,900. That's fucking crazy, dude. And it won. Jesus. Wow. We got B-Neg saying it's not value unless the fighter wins. That's the biggest mistake bettors make. If the fighter doesn't win, who gives a shit about perceived value? Okay, thanks for clarifying. That's how most people lose money in this space, says Beat Fanatic. Surfer, yeah, like others are saying, I'm not suggesting you bet that way. It just means what it means. Now, they've lost so much at that point, they're just lying to themselves. Yeah, it's like taking bets that are likely to win little bets long term, right? Guskov looks like the character from the game Hitman, okay? That's the best strategy to continue with, not these value plays that just lose every week. Guskov is literally Anthony Smith. Tell me I'm wrong. B-Neg saying that's better than betting a plus 20,000 and getting 0, right? Did Weezy pick Macy? I did pick Macy Barber, but I think you gotta kind of wait to see how both ladies look on the scales before you could be really sure about a pick. So I'm not really confident in that fight. Gus is in the room saying, "Hail Weezy, what is up, dude?" Parlay Puncher saying if you can use Pinnacle, use that. We got AB Sturg and saying, "Hey, Uncle Weezy, thoughts on Merab over 6.5 takedowns at minus 115 on DraftKings. It has since bumped to 7.5. I think that's a big total. I mean, Dvalishvili averages 6.4 takedowns per 15 minutes. Jan averages 1.2. So over a 25-minute stretch, so it will be 1.4, right? 25 divided by 15 is 1.667. So we're going to take that times 6.4. So, like, just if Merab Dvalishvili keeps his pace of getting 6.4 takedowns per 15 minutes, and then this fight goes to a 25-minute decision, you're looking at 10.67 takedowns for Merab. But Peter Yan only allows 1.2 takedowns per 15 minutes. So I think you've got to kind of adjust it. I mean, I don't really play those kind of props personally, but I mean, I think it could go either way. Pinnacle doesn't have many props or anything sexy that people like to bet, but they have high limits and they don't penalize you for winning. That's pretty good. Isaac Dulgarian in the room. Thanks for throwing that fight, you prick. Saying my boy Herzog is back. Yeah, I'll be back this week from what they're saying. Parlay Puncher is saying, yeah, not as many sucker markets. That's why they're the best, and they have been for the last 20-odd years. Nice. After this fight, Joshua Van going to the hospital in a Joshua ambulance. That's a good one, dude. I like that one a lot, dude. Mr. Worldwide Disrespect. Who's Mr. Worldwide? Are you talking about Mr. International? Our guy, Chicago legend, Shoney Carter, Mr. International? Who's Mr. Worldwide? I don't know who that is. My guy Damare is in the room, part of the Odd Shopper crew, saying if you gamble and you aren't subscribed to Weezy and Odd Shopper, you're missing out on the best meat bang for your buck when it comes to stats. Weezy's stats packages are amazing, worth more than $25 by itself. Truly appreciate you, Damare. I need more people kind of like pimping my products like that, man. I really appreciate it, dude. I appreciate you being a part of the team, man. I hope all is going well on your end, brother. These soft bookies like Bet365 and DraftKings are despicable. The way they prey on losing bettors, and if they somehow can turn it around, they limit your account or outright ban you. It's probably pretty true, man. But you know, if they were sponsoring me, I would say that they never do that. You know, so I mean, any of these guys that want to sponsor me, I'll defend you. We got KZ saying he's laughing. We got Beat Fanatic saying Bootsy Collins is a funk legend. You're goddamn right he is. What headphones are those behind you? These are my DJ headphones. I have two of the same kind. They're Sony MDR V700s. These are some pretty good DJ headphones that I've always had since way back in the day. Great for hip hop, house music, anything for spinning vinyl, man. We got W saying Bogdan is from Uzbekistan. He probably hadn't seen a gaming console and monitor until he moved to Moscow in his 20s. Yeah, that's true. He is from Tashkent, Uzbekistan, man. He wore that outfit because he wanted to. That's probably true. Did you ever put Bootsy the dog in a diaper? No, I never did. He never had to be in a diaper. He was always in pretty good health until right at the very end. He got cancer, and he slowed down over the course of about 1 week. We took him in for a checkup. He looked like he was slowing down. They took blood. They said that, well, we're not finding any cancer. Came back 2 weeks later. They said that he was like a week away from dying from cancer. So it came on so fast and so aggressively. But no, he was never in a diaper. We got D saying, I'll try to tell you on Twitter, but in case I don't, happy birthday, Weezy. Truly appreciate you, D. It's good to see you hanging out in here, man. And Forrest Daniel saying, Uncle Weezy, early predictions, Patty versus Gaethje, Harrison versus Nunez, Ilya Topuria versus Arman Sarukian. I would go with Gaethje. I would go with Kayla Harrison, and I would go with Ilya Topuria. I think those are going to be great. What's my favorite video game of all time? Man, that's a good question. I loved playing. Yeah, it would have to be the Sega hockey games. I've even got it back here. I think I've got my old Sega somewhere around here. Maybe I threw it out, but yeah, Sega NHL hockey was probably my favorite one of all time. Battletoads, Frogger, those were I remember Frogger, dude. That was a pretty good one. Blachowicz is from Poland, but like me, my prediction is Guskov. Jan is too old. Damn it. He's not too old. He's going to win. We got Aylin saying Weezy. I bet Abdul Malik inside the distance. Turner inside the distance. Talbott by knockout or decision. And Pantoja sub at plus 800. I like that. I think that's a good little parlay because I feel like 3 of those 4 are pretty safe. Abdul Malik inside the distance. Turner inside the distance. Peyton Talbott to win by any method but submission. And then the Pantoja subs plus money. So that put some meat on the bone, but I also bet Pantoja sub, so I like that too. We got Pitbull calls himself Mr. Is that what he calls himself? What a fucking douche. Fuck Pitbull's music and fuck him. Great headphones for mixing. I use those same headphones for years. Yeah, they're fantastic headphones. Because I would get other kinds and they would stop working after like a month, and then these would last like a year and a half before I would have to replace them, man. We got FT David is in the room and he's saying that he's calling it now. Vettori by sub. Those Vettori late sub props are big numbers. You can make some big money if you hit that. Grand Theft Auto 5, says my guy Jerky Boy Casey. We got Uncle Weezy, says my guy MMA Jackal, and he's saying, yeah, I'm a basic bitch. And we got Beat Fanatic saying respect to Weezy for doing this every week. Well, I'm heading out, you guys. We got 197 live viewers right now. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Real quick here, we're going to go through the picks again. I'm going with Naimov by decision. Abdul Malik, knockout 1. Baraneski, knockout 1. Turner, knockout 1. Vettori, decision. Ziam, decision. Barber, decision. Duncan, KO 2. Dawson, submission 2. Blachowicz, submission 1. Talbott, KO 2 or KO 3. Moreno, decision. Pantoja, sub 2. Dvalishvili, decision. And then we've got the dog pick of the week is going to be the Brandon Moreno money line at plus 105. Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week is going to be Grant Dawson to shave the ass of Loco Torres. And your Greasy 4-leg parlay this week, the Grant Dawson money line, the Jan Blachowicz money line, Brandon Moreno money line, and Merab Dvalishvili to win by decision. That comes out to plus 640 on Bet Rivers Sportsbook. And Forrest Daniel saying, being that it's holiday season, what is your favorite Christmas movie? A Christmas Story, Scrooged, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? I'm not sure, man. Like, my favorite Christmas movie. I mean, I guess it would be A Christmas Story. It's kind of a classic, but I don't really like Christmas movies, man. I not really one of my things. I hate Christmas music. Definitely despise Christmas music. Christmas movies. I mean, like maybe any of the Christmas vacation movies were always pretty funny. I bet Pantoja and Talbott inside the distance and Moreno head to head. There we go. Plus 1385. Let's get it. Gus with the flapjacks. Jerk boy saying love Weezy. We got, did you see Dumas on Magic and Nick's podcast? Was he? I did not see that, dude. And he wants to be on the fucking White House lawn. That's awesome, dude. Good on Magic and Nick for having him on the podcast. And good on you guys for watching with me. Let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 323. And if you want to support my work real quick, one more time, the link to a 50% off of your first month of the Odd Shopper probability stats and content package. It'll get you all of my track bets for this card, all the stats packages and betting models for this card, fight write-ups, the 4 hours worth of YouTube content that is not available on free YouTube. It's only available on Odd Shopper. Check out all of that if you want to support my work. If not, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below, and let's stack cashed tickets like flapjacks, you guys, for UFC 323. Good luck on all your bets. Have fun watching the fights, and we'll see you next week for the last card of the year. UFC Vegas, whatever number it is, Manel Kopp versus Brandon Royval. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Take care.